Welcome, ladies and gents. We've had the Las Vegas Grand Prix qualifying session, and that was magic. The wet weather there caused absolute chaos, and if you managed to stay up late, if you were here in the UK, what a treat we just got for the qualifying session. We'll jump straight into Q1, and the first casualty, a big one, Lewis Hamilton in the Ferrari P20. Confusion again with his engineer over the line on the last lap. Did he make it? Did he not make it? The team said he didn't make it over the line, and it looked like actually he did, but he did have a cone under his front wing, which clearly wouldn't have helped in the conditions. Out in P20, last place. That kick up the bum from his chairman, John Alcon, won't be probably ringing in his ears a little bit. He'll be kicking himself with that one. Long race for him tomorrow, and the Ferraris, had it been dry conditions, actually looked like they were looking to be quite strong, so it's kind of gone wrong for them really, and straight away for Lewis in the first session. Yuki Tsunoda, another one, a really disappointing session for him, P19. Gabby Bortoleto, P18. Kimi Antonelli in P17. He's the man I had for pole position in my predictions, and it just shows the conditions were horrendous. Anyone's game to go out, and it was surprises everywhere. Alex Albon in P16, he'll be kicking himself as well, especially considering how well his teammate went up the front later on in the session. Q2, and it's Franco Colapinto in P15, sliding everywhere. Had he got a decent lap in, it would have been Oscar Piastri who would have made his way out. He just squeezed through in P10, did Oscar in that session, and Franco had the chance to kick him out, didn't quite make it though. Ollie Berman off of a good couple of runs, a tricky session for him and the Haas team. P14 for him, but he's been out qualified by his teammate Esteban Ocon, who's one position up ahead in P13. Lance Stroll in P12, and it was well, I don't know what the Aston Martin outfit we're looking at here, because they shot themselves in the foot. The only guys that went for the Inters, and it was clearly a full wet session, that one, and they had the car to be in the top 10, so yeah, absolute kick in the teeth. He clearly wasn't helped by the rejoin of Carlos Sainz also, right in front of him. It looks like that might be a penalty for Carlos Sainz. That is going to be reviewed by the stewards after the race, which is a real shame for Carlos considering how well his session's gone. And a P11 for Nico Hülkenberg, just outside the top 10, so I'll be hoping for some points later on in the race tomorrow. It's chances you can overtake on this circuit, so let's see how that works out for him. And we'll jump straight into the Q3 session, and it's the star of the moment, Lando Norris, not letting anything slide in his quest for his first championship. He's been on an absolute roll, and he pulled off some brilliant laps. He was absolutely flying, took pole position by 3/10. He's a second faster than his teammate. And Norris has just been putting it on in a really tricky session. He pulled it all together, and the McLarens were supposed to be weak around here. The wet weather conditions have clearly helped him and that team. Can they hold it together in a dry race tomorrow? It'll be anybody's guess, because it's just completely thrown the form book. We don't really know who's doing what in a dry race. So if it's dry tomorrow, will we see Lando Norris on the first step? Who knows, but he's put himself in the best position for that with another tremendous lap in qualifying sessions, and this is probably what the big game changer has been for him in his quest and his jump to take the lead in the World Championship has been his qualifying sessions. He's been putting it together, he's been sticking it on pole position, and from there on it just makes your life that much easier. But he's got Max Verstappen lining up in second place, and yeah, it'll be an interesting turn one. A Max dive bomb coming into turn one, lap one. Who knows, because Lando Norris of late has been getting absolute mega starts, and we thought we'd get a couple of them in Brazil, but he's been flying off the starts at the moment, so we'll see how that one pans out tomorrow. Carlos Sainz with a magnificent P3. And he'll be kicking himself if he gets this penalty with his Lance Stroll incident. How many grid place penalties we'll wait to find out. 3 or 5 but it does really look likely that he will get that, because it was clearly impeding Lance Stroll when he rejoined the circuit. It's a tricky one though, because of the way the conditions were. Could he possibly get away with it? You kind of hope so, just because it'll be a mega to see him start that high up the grid. George Russell in P4. Disappointing, but when the rain came down, I think it's the great leveler, isn't it? And Mercedes just weren't quite at the races in the wet conditions. They'd been tipped to be strongest, probably if it would remain dry. Let's see what they can do in a dry race tomorrow. Oscar Piastri, a P5. Absolutely horrible sessions for him. His last run was absolutely awful. Didn't help with the yellow flag, and then he had a little spin, or looked like some sort of caution went wide, but he had a V-carb on the inside of him as he was trying to complete his lap. I'm not sure what that V-carb was doing there. Had it lifted off and it was just sort of looking at this as a little bit of a red herring, we'll find out. But potentially if that V-carb was blocking, there'll also be a penalty for them as well. Liam Lawson in P6, a decent session from him. He outqualifies his teammate Isaac Hadjar and puts himself in a really strong position for some points tomorrow. Fernando Alonso in P7, and I think he'll be a little bit disappointed because earlier in the session, as it's wettest, Aston Martins look really quick, so he probably was potentially looking to be a little bit higher up, but this Aston Martin is so wavy, we just don't know what we're going to get from session to session, and it's a decent P7, so points on the card for him. Isaac Hadjar in P8. He'll be a little bit disappointed because, again, he looked really quick in the earlier sessions, but just didn't quite get it together in the Q3 session, but a P8 is decent from him. Charles Leclerc in P9, a big mistake on his final run, went for a spin. Disappointing because the Ferraris, again, like I said, with Lewis Hamilton in the dry, cold conditions, actually look really good, and they would have been much higher up the grid had it been dry, I'm sure of that, but a mistake from Charles Leclerc really cost him. And Pierre Gasly sticks it in the top 10 in the Alpine. He's been on a good run of form after Brazil. He's been performing brilliantly, and could he nick another point in the race tomorrow? Who knows, because what a grid we've got. I mean, 8 different teams in the top 10 says it all. So tricky out there in the Las Vegas circuit with the cold conditions in a full race. Who knows what the track conditions are going to be like? Who knows what sort of how these tyres are going to work after the cars get on track? I mean, it's always a green track because it's the F1 circuit is a live sort of car circuit where cars go on after sessions, so it's almost a green track every session, so you know the grip levels ramp up as the race will go on, so not massive change with it, whether it being rainy or not, in terms of grip levels for the race, so they will see if that plays any difference or not. Yeah, we should be in for an absolute cracker because we get overtaken, and it's generally we get some good strategy options, potentially 2 stops. We will see more. Who knows? And we'll get some rain in the race tomorrow because, well, it was a bit of a surprise to see it in qualifying. But what a session we got. It was so great to see these drivers really working for their money in that hour. So many close calls. How we didn't get a red flag in any of that session was absolutely tremendous, because so many times you would expect to at least see a rookie in the wall, but they really held it together with, you know, really tricky, cool, cold temperatures, low grip, wet weather, and for no one to just really stick it in a wall hard. I think they've all done a pretty solid job, and well, for me, I can't wait for the race to get going tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. As always, see you on the next one.